Hey guys, I'm Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada, joined by Mike Rosenberg, aka Passenger. How's it going?
Good, very good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your 13th album. That is truly incredible. How does it feel?
It feels like I must be getting very old if I've made so many albums. But thank you. Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I'm really happy with this one.
Yeah, and I feel like you're probably the first person to put out an album in 2021. So you're really just setting the bar high for everybody else.
I thought I'd chuck mine out quickly and then everybody can improve on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a funny one. It was meant to come out in spring last year, but obviously the world sort of had a meltdown, so we just kind of we held it back. And I'm really glad that I did because I wrote a bunch of new songs, and I think the album's probably better for it. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your mindset like when you go into a new project like this, especially once you've had so many? How does it work with your mentality and stuff? Do you think like, oh, okay, how do I make this one different? What's it like?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think earlier on when it was sort of my first and second record or whatever, I was so precious about it. I was so everything had to be perfect and we took ages on it and blah blah blah. Nowadays it's just sort of like, right, I've got sort of 12, 13 songs, let's go and do it. Like, and it's nice. I think every artist's different with this stuff. Some people like to take a really long time over records and others just kind of chuck them out like me. And yeah, it's fun. I've always written a lot, and it's just really lovely to keep on just yeah, keep the momentum going and keep the flow of music coming. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that. What made you make the decision to put out these songs, but then also put out acoustic versions to them?
Yeah, it's something that we've done in the past. I think because I write all of these songs on my acoustic guitar at my kitchen table, so it sort of just feels like it's a really nice thing to offer people alongside the sort of bigger arrangements. I think as well, because I usually play live on my own. So it just kind of gives people the option. And I know that within passenger fan world, there are, people who prefer one or the other. So it's an easy way that we can just kind of cater for both parties, really.
Yeah, I love that. And I think one of the reasons that people love you so much, many long list of reasons, but it's
Uh-huh.
your vulnerability that comes with your music, especially when it comes to things like heartbreak. Do you find that it's difficult for you to, or do you find that it's like almost easier to deal with heartbreak because you know that you can like get something out of it in the form of music?
Excellent. Another breakup. Wonderful. No, at the time, I mean, I think it's just as horrible for me as it is for anybody else. It's cool that I can take those horrible emotions and sort of channel them into songs that are hopefully gonna help me and also people who listen to them. It's a really lovely outlet for what isn't particularly lovely in the first place.
Totally. And I think it's really great that you can like relate so much to other people in that way and they can relate with you. Do you almost become like a therapist in a way? I feel like your DMs are probably just full of people's like sob stories and like how it relates to them.
Yeah, I'm not a very good therapist because I don't get back to an awful lot of people. So I don't think it can be a paid service. But yeah, it's one of the best things about it, especially with Let Her Go. I have to say, like, it was a song that I wrote in 45 minutes in a dressing room in a tiny little pub in Australia. And it went on to be this insane thing that so many people around the world related to. And yeah, especially with that song, I still get story on story about, how it's helped certain people in situations, or it was played at a wedding or a funeral or a christening or goodness knows what else. And from all over the world as well, like every corner of the globe. And that makes me so happy to know that there are people in, you know, Ethiopia and Tibet and Uruguay listening to my music. It's wonderful.
Yeah, totally. In regards to Let Her Go, I've heard you say before that part of the reason that that song had such success is because it was the right song at the right time. Do you feel like timing is a big factor in the success of songs?
No doubt, yeah. And I think a lot of things kind of came together for me around then. I was touring with Ed Sheeran, which probably helped. And yeah, it was just sort of riding the crest of a wave, and that song seemed to kind of be a very understandable and palatable version of what I was doing for radio, but also for just the musical world in general. So timing's got so much to do with this stuff, and as it has with most things in life, I think.
Yeah, totally. I love the relationship between you and Ed Sheeran. When you guys work together, is it more just like a text and you're like, hey, help me with this thing? How does that go?
Yeah, we've been mates for years, and yeah, as I mentioned, I've done a lot of touring with him. He's been incredibly generous and kind with sort of getting me in front of a lot of people. But we've always talked about like collaborating, whether it's a duet or whatever. And when I wrote Sword from the Stone, which is my new single, I was really excited about it. You know, like I write a lot, and I like most of my songs, but every now and again something comes along and you're like, wow, this is something special. So I sent it to him amongst a few other people, and in true Sheeran fashion, he got back to me in like 7 minutes after listening to it twice and was like, mate, this is special, let's do something. So yeah, he ended up making like a alternative version, which we're calling the Gingerbread Mix. And it's cool, it's really cool. It's punchier and poppier, and he's basically just sort of Sheeranized it, which is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, that's such a good way to describe it. Why gingerbread mix? Where did that come from?
Well, he's ginger, but also his record label, he's got like a little imprint at his label called Gingerbread.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was a weird one. I didn't want to be like featuring Ed Sheeran or anything like that, because it's not like he's not singing on it, and I didn't, like I don't want to ride on his coattails unnecessarily. A bit of it, but not too much. So it just seemed to be a nice sort of tip of the hat towards him.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that a lot. One of the songs that I personally love off the album is Suzanne. And this is a song that you've had for a while, right?
Yeah, it's probably one of the older songs on the album. Yeah, it's probably a year and a half or 2 years old now. But yeah, I love that song too. It's not about anyone specifically, but I kind of feel like we've all met Suzanne at some point in our lives. You know, she's that sort of slightly older woman who's sitting in the same seat at the same bar, drinking the same drink every night, and doesn't talk to anyone and just kind of stares off into the middle distance. And it's just really sort of trying to get inside her head and telling her story, really.
Yeah. And I just like the idea of you like writing from the perspective of an older woman. I think that's so unique and not something that's too many like male artists will do. So it's cool.
Yeah, right. I mean, I find myself incredibly boring. So anytime I can sort of step out of my own life and write from somebody else's point of view, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Do you find, I know this is such a like stereotypical question, but do you really find that like with COVID and everything that's happened over the last year, it's been so nice for you to be able to turn to music and use that as sort of an outlet?
Massive. Yeah. It's sort of similar to what I was talking about with breakups. You know, it's like anything that's going on in my life seems to get sort of funneled into my songs. And of course, this year has been completely nuts and grim. So all of that it's been so helpful to deal with that through music. I've written so much. I actually released a separate sort of lockdown album called Patchwork in the summer, which is just like a home studio recording, just because I was writing so much, and it kind of felt important to document that time, you know.
Yeah. What is your writing process like? Do you have just like different songs on the go that you'll just like wake up and be like, okay, I'm going to work on this one today? Or do you just like pick it up and go? How does it work?
Yeah, it's a good question. I usually try to finish songs, pretty much finish them as the idea is there.
Yeah.
I find it difficult to sort of half finish something, then come back to it a week later and you're like, what was I thinking? I can't remember. So it's usually good to, once you've established an idea, to kind of see it through. I've been writing tons recently, and then I'll go like months without even touching my guitar and whatever. So it's still a complete magical mystery to me, songwriting. You know, I've been doing it for a long time. As you said, this is my 13th album, but I still don't really understand where it comes from and how it happens. It's a bit magic.
Yeah, you just got to let it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so your look for the Drunk and Broken Hearted video, I saw that it was a bit inspired by Batman and the Joker. So I have a very important question. Who is your favorite Batman and who's your favorite Joker? And there are wrong answers. So
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I'm going to go Joker first, because somebody asked me this the other day, and I spent about an hour and a half thinking about it.
Oh, darn, I thought I had such a creative question. Okay.
No, it's good. The Batman thing hasn't been asked, so I'm going to have to come back to that. The Joker, I've got to go Heath Ledger. Like, as much as I loved Joaquin Phoenix, and I thought he did an incredible job following Heath up, that Dark Knight performance is just, it's up there with the greatest of all time. I think he was electric. So he's Joker. Batman, I mean, I'm very familiar with the newer ones, less so with sort of Clooney and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I'm going to have to go. I've completely forgotten his name. What's his name? The new guy.
Ben Affleck?
No, well, no.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Thank you very much. Yeah, like only the most famous actor in the world. Yeah, I thought he was solid. I thought he was cool, and yeah, he did it well, I thought.
Yeah, those are good. I'll accept those answers.
Are you all right with that? Would they be the same as yours?
I think I would do like Michael Keaton because I do like the older stuff, but Christian Bale's up there too, so I'll accept it.
Are we still friends?
Yeah, we're still friends.
Thank God for that.
What is something, this might be a harder question, but what do you think is something that people would be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, all sorts of nasty things. I have a dreadful love of 80s power ballads, and I'm not talking like in a cool, like ironic way. I'm talking in like, I drive around in my stupid little Volkswagen Golf listening to like Chicago and REO Speedwagon and Foreigner and all of like that, like properly like Cheeseville, like mullets, wind machines, that sort of vibes. So that is a dark secret that I don't tell many people.
Well, thank you for sharing it today.
Right. It felt right, you know, it felt like it was time.
Would that be your go-to karaoke then?
Oh my God, I'd love that. Yeah, I mean, I don't often karaoke because I feel like it's sort of, if I've got a night off, I don't really want to sing.
Right.
But yes, I mean, if I was drunk enough and someone adds some, you know, Peter Cetera on the go on the karaoke machine, try and stop me.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a pleasure being able to talk to you.
It really has. Thank you so much.